Alright guys, working on the Jeep today. So I put this bumper on it. It's from JCR Off-Road, good old Harbor Freight winch. And if you put a bumper on a Jeep XJ Cherokee, you probably know that this here vacuum reservoir goes up in here somewhere behind the old bumper and doesn't work super great with this new bumper. So, and I think this thing's ugly and don't really want it in here anywhere. I had it zip tied under this air conditioning line, but I think that's kind of ridiculous. I think it's ugly and in the way. So I am going to make a custom one that I think maybe will tuck in right here or maybe over here or something like that. So let's get after it. Okay, so this here is going to be our victim. It's a B12 chemtool can, and I'm not sure where the thing went to put my phone on my tripod, so I'm trying to do this one-handed. It's not working, so I'll be right back in a minute. This little plastic thing pops right off of here. Okay, little plastic thing popped off. Now I've got this little piece of brass. This is a orifice from a gas furnace that I scavenged from work. We converted it to propane from natural gas. That's 1/4 inch pipe thread, focus. Then here I've got a bushing that goes from 3/4 inch pipe thread to 1/4 inch pipe thread. As you can see, no, you can't see because it's out of focus. Now you can see that doesn't quite fit in the can, so I'm going to smack this thing in the lathe and turn those threads off a little bit right here, and should be able to fit in there. And I think I'll just JB weld it in, and then I'll turn this end here down to about that size so my little plug hose can plug onto it. Alright, so we got one end of this done. You got it turned down, trimmed a little shorter. Fits into here real nice. Do the other one. Alright, so I can use the power feed for this one. So that's interesting. I think I bent that. Huh. Well, I will be right back. Okay, so I figured out that these things have a hole through them that's bigger than the size I wanted to turn it to, so I wound up turning the end right off. I could have probably figured that out if I had measured this hole in the back to begin with. But anyway, my new plan of action here is I'm going to see if I can cut some 1/4 inch pipe threads on the end of this piece of aluminum and drill it through and make it the size I need it. So I will be back. Alright, so the threads on this piece of aluminum worked out super great. You can see them back in there. I've got it in the lathe, and I'm going to see if I can get this thing turned down to the right size and drilled out and see if this works better. Alright, so I've got my little fitting here soldered in the top of my B12 chemtool can. Boom. I hooked an air hose up and put some soapy water. I use this stuff. It's car wash soap. It's all I had in the shop. Doesn't leak. And then I made this little dude on my lathe. Unfortunately, I couldn't video that because I lost part of my tripod, which annoys me. I gotta find it. So this now screws into there. I get a little bit of thread sealer on that. Alright, so this is gonna plug onto this here hose like that. It's very difficult one-handed. And then I'm going to put this here maybe, or maybe there, or maybe there, or somewhere in here. Alright, there it is. Kind of looped the hose around on itself here. Zip tied this in, kind of tucked it under the cruise control cable. I bent, you can't see it. There's a little tab just like this one on this power distribution box thing. Then there's one just like it over here. I bent it out of the way a little bit so that this can isn't rubbing on it, so it can't wear a hole through it. And zip tied it in there a little bit. Good to go. Looks way, way better than that old thing wherever I put it. Oh yeah, I threw it in the grass over here. Way cooler. So. Alright, it's working. Hasn't even collapsed yet. Seems good. Good, Benedict. Okay, well, we'll see how long it lasts. It seems to want to squish, but hey, you know what? It'll probably work.